Comparing executive reinvention to other management programs that I've been in, it's really somewhat difficult to put that into words, but it has a way of getting almost into your soul as compared to getting into your head. You explore concepts that you've never explored before, and it's not really what you should do, but perhaps how you should do it. It encourages you to think of things in ways to accomplish things that you've never thought of before. And it really digs deeper and tries to get all of your potential out so that the rest of the world can see that. I think that might be the main difference.
So what other ways can you think of that executive reinvention is different from the programs that you've personally attended?
The difference in this program versus other programs for me is that in previous programs it gives you a set of things to work on. You can take them back, you can incorporate them into your management style or into the way you approach your job, and it's somewhat of a fix. In the reinvention process, you're never going to fix it. You're constantly changing and evolving. It's not a way to improve yourself, it's a way to change yourself, so that down the road that potential that exists deep within inside actually can come to the surface, and not only do you know that you've made a change, but everyone around you, whether it be your family or your coworkers, they get a real sense that there is something magically different here, and the way that you approach what you do and the way you approach life is forever changed. For me, that was a huge shift, and I've come to realize that I'm never going to be finished in reinventing myself. It'll go until I take my last breath.
If you can, could you give a specific example of what you've just been talking about, the way that the process of reinvention never ends and you just keep changing and evolving?
An example for me would be, and I think it's one of the basics of the program, is that you have to discover the things that they're...
Let's stop for a second, because I don't know, if I were listening to this, I wouldn't know what the example is referring to.
Okay.
So an example of whatever it is you're speaking about, and then
Okay.
Go on.
Think about that.
Take your time. Let's hear the question again.
Yes.
Neil.
Okay, Jim, if you can think of an example, share it with me, of how the process of executive reinvention never ends. It just keeps going and you keep evolving.
An example of how the reinvention process continues to evolve, for me, is that there are so many outside influences that continue to hook you.
Let's stop again. I'm sorry. I didn't think, it didn't feel like you wanted to say that.
I'm thinking about how to phrase exactly.
Yeah,
I get hung.
But begin by saying a personal example of how...
Don't say that.
Don't say
let him talk. Just let him talk, Neil. You're gonna get it all in his head.
And we're still talking about the difference in this program versus others.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we're going.
Yeah.
Right. I'm ready. Okay. For me, the difference in this program, as opposed to other programs that I've attended, is it does actually change the way you approach your life. I've had my family, I have 2 children, my wife, approach me, and that there's something, although they can't put their finger on it, that is different about me. And I think it's the way you approach life in general, whether it be your work life or your personal life. There's a richness or a fullness, or you recognize that there's so much more out there. So instead of categorizing everything and working to complete the to-do list of life, this allows you to actually expand what could be on that particular list, whether it's for your personal enrichment, or it's with your family, or with your work. You can work on what you want to work, because you now recognize that there are so many more important things out there than what. It opens up your universe.
Thank you. Changing tack. What's it like, Jim, to work with Tracy Goss?
Working with Tracy Goss has been an unbelievable experience. She has this uncanny ability to look into your soul, to recognize all of the potential that exists in everyone she comes in contact with, and she can craft a plan to extract that from you. She sees things, for me, she sees things in me that I wouldn't even begin to think were there. And it has been an enriching experience for me. It's been overwhelming. It's been quite emotional. But the fact that there's someone out there that believes in you as strongly as she does, and it's not just me. I've seen it in the way she interacts with others in our organization. It has just been really something to behold. Her strength, her vision, her faith in people is unflappable. I really admire the way she goes about her craft.
And in your experience, what's it like? What's Tracy Goss like as a coach?
Tracy Goss is the most unrelenting coach that I've ever come in contact, whether it would be sports or in the work arena. She can see things, as I mentioned previously. I shouldn't have said that, shouldn't I?
Let's just
Right.
start again.
Tracy Goss is a wonderful coach. The difference in her compared to other coaches, whether they be work coaches or coaches in sports, is that she can see this potential and she can chisel away all the things that need to be chiseled away, and she can get you to be as great as you're capable of being. She can make you everything that you ever dreamed that you could be, because her dream, her vision is much grander than anybody else would even begin to think that they could have for themselves. She's a wonderful coach.
Can you give me a specific example of a piece of coaching that you've had from Tracy Goss that's made a big impact for you?
No, I can't, but I will in a second. So,
Take your time.
Tracy Goss has worked very diligently with me over the course of the last 18 months. Let me start again. Sorry about that. I first met Tracy Goss about 18 months ago as part of a corporate program initiative that we were moving forward, reinventing ourselves as a company. What I soon learned was that not only does the company reinvent themselves, it's not really about the company, it's about the individuals who make up the company. She recognized something in every one of us and works very diligently to get that out. Personally, for me, she sees something in me that I wouldn't dare to dream for myself. But she is relentless. She will not let go. I've been through the executive reinvention program in New York twice, and every time I walk away from one of her sessions, I just feel like the world is so much larger than it was before I walked in to the meeting that particular day. She has made my life much more exciting. I see there's much more potential out there. It's been much more fulfilling. And the fact that she actually has more faith in me than I probably have in myself, I admire her for that, but more importantly, I thank her for that.
And what kind of impact has the executive reinvention methodology had on your company?
The executive reinvention methodology has been unbelievably impactful to our company. We have come so far in such a short period of time that no one would dare dream of where we're headed right now. The future is so bright for our organization, and I would not have told you that 18 months ago. She has brought an enthusiasm, a belief. We are a close-knit, we're a family now, as opposed to being a number of individual parts. We are now one team, and the energy that has been instilled in our organization, literally from top to bottom, is unlike anything I've seen up to this point.
Neil, can I ask a question based on that?
Yeah.
Jim, would you say a little bit about, the fact that Schnucks has been around for so many decades, and it was so entrenched and so, it was so set in its ways, and now it's been able to basically turn on a dime. Could you say a little bit to that? Because, the people listening don't know that you come from a very, very old company that's very, very, it was a major upheaval to do this, right? So if you could just express a little bit about that.
And it's okay to reference Chinooks and,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is, because there'll be a caption.
I think it'll
across
say
your
you're from
name
Chinooks
saying
underneath.
your
Okay.
job
Yeah.
role and company,
Yeah.
so.
all right? The company I work for, Chinook Markets, has been around since 1939. It's a family-owned company. We are now into our third and fourth generation of leadership. I admire what the owners of our organization have done, the courage that it took to reinvent the entire organization. They have poised our company to go places that no one would have dreamed we could have accomplished. And the unleashing of the greatness of every teammate in the organization is at the direction of ownership, but at the coaching of Tracy Goss. She has brought an energy and a belief system to the organization that I have not seen. I've been there for over 40 years, and the change, not just in myself, not just in our ownership group, but in management at every level, has been nothing short of phenomenal.